Hey, good morning, Facebook. Good morning to you. Happy Sunday. We made it. We made it through a full another week. Welcome to my backyard. Hope your day is going awesome so far. You're probably not even up. This is a little bit late. I slept in. If you notice, time hasn't changed, but you notice the birds, it's a little quieter this morning. I think the birds are sleeping in, but good morning to you. When you come on here, let me know that you're here. Give me a little thumbs up. Give me a little hello, a little wave. I'll wave back to you, I promise. Welcome to the Daily Dose, 8 a.m., episode number 35. 5 weeks. 5 weeks. We're going to be talking about the not so easy choice this morning. On this fine, beautiful morning. I think you'll be able to, I heard people messaging me saying that, gosh, sounds like a sanctuary in the back. And you know what? It's been awesome. It's been really, really cool. I don't think I've ever spent as much time in this backyard as I have over the last couple of weeks. And I don't know, maybe you can feel me on that. If you have a backyard and just your life's just so busy that you forget about sometimes the little things like the little birds. I'm hoping maybe we get like the last time I did one from the back of my yard here in the back. Gosh, it's pretty beautiful back here. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It wasn't that way for the longest time. Let me tell you, it's been a lot of work, but we've been here 18 years, and a couple of years ago we did some renovations in the backyard, just make it look. And that palm tree is pretty cool. That palm tree in the back there had been there since we've been here. It just was hiding behind a bunch of like ugly bamboo and stuff, and we got some cool other bushes. See the sun's kind of trying to come through over there. Awesome stuff. So good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Dose. What the Daily Dose is purely a daily dose, not of me, of encouragement. My hopes in the past 35 episodes, the past 5 weeks, that I provided some encouragement in times where, gosh, we could all just use more encouragement, right? And this kind of discouraging time, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's going to happen, going back, kind of not knowing the future, lots of choices to make, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, you think about choices. We have to make so many choices in our day, so many decisions, so many things that can really just kind of stress you out. And there's things that are routine, right? You get up, you make the choice of what time you get up in the morning. You make the choice whether or not you're going to brush your teeth, whether or not you're going to have some coffee. That's an easy choice for me. I have coffee. We fill it up. You've probably seen this cup now many times. So you made that choice. You made the choice of what time you're going to get up. Maybe you sleep in on the weekends, which is pretty cool. Maybe you make the choice. Now, a lot of people choose to go to church, but we don't have that for the most part right now. So you're making the choice to watch church, maybe on TV. And, I know there's lots of choices. I wrote down, of course, I'd share with you. I have some notes, and I wrote down the choices. You make the choice whether or not you get up in the morning and you grab your phone first thing, or you turn on the news and see kind of what's going on there. I mean, that's a choice as well. You have that choice whether or not you watch the news. I made that post, a while back, whether or not you watch the news, and I got a lot of great feedback. And just so you know, I really, really appreciate your connection here. Thanks. Hey, good morning, Briggs. Good morning to you. And the only thing I ask in return for this is if you're watching, if you ever come on, if you catch me, maybe you caught some of the other episodes, is all I ask is that you share it. So the only point for this is that I provide encouragement to you. Sundays maybe are encouraging to many because you have like this day of rest, and maybe you're going to get refreshed and you're going to hear a good message maybe from the church you're dialing in online or watching YouTube or Facebook or however you watch. Maybe your pastor has, transition, and just like ours has, it's transition to online, and there's lots of services. It's pretty awesome. In fact, I feel it's almost less intimidating for a lot of people who want to check out church, who want to check out pastors, and that's one of the things I think is a really cool thing. But it's still a choice, right? You still have a choice. You can put on another Netflix show and binge watch there, or you can put on and listen to a message. You can choose whether or not you listen to me. You can turn this off right now. That's cool too. But I am grateful that you've watched this. You have other choices. You choose to make your bed in the morning. There was a cool, I can't remember who it was, but he is like a military, like admiral or I can't remember who he was, but he does like, I think a TED talk or a talk about making your bed in the morning and kind of like starting your day, right? Like you make the choice and you can make your bed in the morning. You can make the rest of your day, right? And I'm totally botching what he said, but it was really pretty powerful talk that he talked about, and getting up and making your bed every morning. And we do that. Actually, our bed is made even today on a Sunday morning. Sometimes it's not perfect, but I would say there's lots of choices. And with that, there's easy choices and then there's not so easy choices, right? There's choices of how you deal with your children if you have children, and how you parent. Those are tough choices. How much discipline you give to them. Maybe when your kid was younger, did you spank them or not? I'm not here to talk about that. I have my own preferences, and you know what? It worked for me, and maybe it worked for your kids the way you parent, and you're probably doing an amazing job, even despite being as challenging as it is now. You might have little ones. I can tell you the choice to stay sane when you have a bunch of little kids at home, I'm going to applaud you now, because I don't know how I'd be able to handle it, to be honest with you. I don't know what kind of choice I'd make. Maybe I'd want to have a bottle of wine every night just to like soothe the pain of having young kids and having to fill their entire day with activities and doing that versus maybe them being in school, right? I think you kind of get. And, one of the things that I'm realizing is that when certain changes and choices are not embraced, like when you don't embrace kind of the change and choices that you have made, sometimes they have to be forced. Like that's the one thing I heard this from a pastor about a week ago, I believe. And it was just talking about changes, things that we have to do. We have to deal with parenting at home, or we have to deal with maybe working from home. For me, it's not that big a deal because I'm already working from home. But still, like the changes of how my clients' circumstances are and where they're at. Hey, good morning to you. Hey, sorry I didn't say hello. I appreciate you coming on here. Thank you, Kim and Robin and Pamela and Christopher. Thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you. Choices we make. Here we go. Where we are. I'm going to say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And with that, I want to share with you something. And now, I'm the fitness guy. And again, it's not me to share. I just have stories from my fitness. I have actually 2 stories just to share with you my house first. I'll go to the fitness one in a moment, but choices. One of the things when we moved here, we got married in 2002. In fact, our anniversary I made a choice to propose. I only proposed once, and I only proposed to one woman, and she's sitting in the house right now, and that's 18 years ago. We'll be celebrating on the 25th of May, our 18th wedding anniversary. And that was a big choice, right? There's a big choice. And I would say now I embrace that. It wasn't forced upon me. It wasn't forced upon her. And I would say and it was hard. It's been challenging all through. It takes intentionality and takes effort and sacrifice. And if you've been married any length of time, and chances are you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I would say when we got married, and it was a hard thing. We made a choice to buy a home that was pretty much like almost beyond our reach, and it was in this neighborhood. We're in the same house 18 years later, same house, one house we bought, one house we've lived in. Our family's been raised, our kids have been raised here. But I would tell you this, why I say that was a hard choice, is that we made the choice to buy a dilapidated, I'm talking rat infested, cockroach infested, shag rug, cat urine, and it was a dilapidated old house, the house that we're living in right now. Yes. And we chose to buy that house, to invest in that house, because we wanted the location. We chose it for the location. Now we're very grateful because obviously we like it because we're still here, and we chose that. But I would say we had the choice to make, because we could only afford one of 2 things. We could only afford the location if we didn't get as nice of a house. It's just, that in any kind of real estate, you understand. Hey, good morning Trish, good morning Marty, I appreciate, thanks for watching, thank you so much, and happy Sunday to you, good morning to you. And so we made the choice, and I know I have a lot of realtor friends too, a lot of real estate people on here. You can definitely feel is sometimes you buy for location, right? Location. You hear that all the time. Well, we did back in 2002. We bought this house, and it was, the top of our budget. We were newlyweds, just getting married, and we had made the choice. And, it was our choice. But I would say we had to sacrifice some things. I would say we were kind of forced. We embraced the location because it was an amazing location. Steps to the beach, steps to a great town, steps to schools. Quiet, nice neighborhood, beautiful area in Florida. And, you've seen the sunrises, so you see that. But we also had to be forced to buy a house that was really a trash. It was like literally had jalousies windows, and everything was old on it. It all needed to be, but we made that choice, and we're very grateful. But I would say is it required us making a decision on that, right? And we have those decisions, and you're like, well, why the heck are you telling me this? I have a point. I have a point to you, and I'm not even going to probably get to, because I don't want to take too much more time. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Carol. Is if you think in the decisions that we make now, I would say is back then, and let's just talk about life, and it can be related to anything, real estate, your life, your health, is you have a choice to make. And usually it requires some sacrifice. And I would say is on Sunday, one of the things that I'm going to relate this to my faith, because it is something that is the most important thing in my life right now. And the same thing happened when we made a choice to follow God's way, to again, and it isn't easy, but it is a choice. We had to make that decision. And it's in everything in life. And here's the thing, it's not just about going to church on Sunday, and that's why I wanted to bring this up, is that it's the not so easy choice. Because on the front end, like here, it's the easy choice. Look at this beautiful neighborhood. It wasn't an easy choice when we bought here. The first night, I'll never forget, my wife's pregnant with Mason, our first child, and she was pregnant, and I'll never forget the pitter-patter of rats running. We didn't know there was rats, by the way, but we heard the pitter-patter of rats crawling in our, and we were a one-level house, like a ranch house, and we heard the rats like running across inside, in between like the roof, like between the roof and the ceiling there, whatever, the eaves, whatever that's called. So we heard them. And then I go to wake up and we turn on the lights. And I'm not even joking to you. First night we lived there. And we look in and we turn on the lights and there's literally like 100. I'm not even joking. You can ask my wife. She freaked out. She was ready to bail. She was ready to like cancel. We were like getting out of here. And the choice we made to have the house, the cockroaches were everywhere. Literally turn off the light, tried to turn it back on, and they were like, oh my gosh, they're all over the place. It was ridiculous. And so, but we were forced to make that choice. I say forced. Nobody forced us to make the choice to buy, but we were forced to live in that type of house till we could make it better. Same kind of thing as if you think of in God here, but it was our choice. Like nobody forced us to buy the house. We could have bought a nice house, away from it, 10 times larger and in perfect condition, beautiful amenities and fixtures and, pools and whatever, all those types of things. But that was our choice. It's the same thing when it comes to following God and faith is like, it's your choice. You can choose whether or not you follow God. You can choose whether or not you watch a service today. You can choose whether or not you let him be the one that's steering your days, your weeks, your decisions. And I would say, and that's why I say that it's a not so easy choice, is that it was really, really hard for us. I would say hard for us to make the choice to, as a new family, to buy a dilapidated old junky house. But now we're really reaping the benefits, like truly the value in it, in the location. It's second to none, truly is. But I would say is when it comes to following God and following his pursuit for your life, and the decision, you make this decision, and it's the beautiful thing about God is that he's not forcing himself on you. It's your decision. Like we weren't forced to buy this house here in Atlantic Beach, but it was a decision. And that's the free will is pretty amazing when it comes to our faith is thinking the choice. Is working with God. There's a scripture, I want to read it, and one of the ones that I first learned coming to faith is Revelation 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Right? So if you ever want to get into this, you can go look it up, Revelation 3:20. You can pull up anywhere online, obviously, even if you don't have a Bible. So behold, Revelation 3:20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me. And really, just like in the nutshell, and I'm not a theologian or a pastor, I believe in this is so true, because for many years I didn't hear, I think it was probably knocking, I just wasn't really listening. And it was my choice. It was, listen to this, behold, I stand at the door and knock. I think for everybody's life, God's knocking on your door, like he's pursuing you. And as I look back in all of my life, the house, before even honestly having a relationship with God, when we bought this house, I really feel he was still pursuing us. He put us in this area. He blessed us with this area and the people in my life. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door. So you see there's an action step. It is a choice that needs to be made as far as not only hearing God's pursuit of you. Like he wants to have that relationship, but you have to hear it first, and then you have to open. So if anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him. And that's that all you have to do is just hear that knock on the door, and then open the door for him in your life. And again, that's the reason why I say the not so easy choice is because it was a hard choice. It really was, because I was living life on my terms. Like I was pursuing life on my terms, doing things my way. And, and while a lot of people do that and maybe it works okay with you, is I realized it's so much better when you allow God to take the steering wheel, when you allowed him. Now I say it's so much better. It's not an easy choice because the world is not the way God like the world's ways are very different than God's ways. And I can just say that it's a hard choice. It's a hard choice to get up on a Sunday. Maybe it's your only day to rest and to want to maybe go to church when churches are open, to want to pursue a relationship. It takes effort. It takes intentionality. It is something that is the beautiful thing is a free will thing. I'm not here to force any of my beliefs on anybody here. It's truly a free will thing. But I can just tell you, right now, while it was a not so easy choice, it is truly an easy choice. I can't say where my mind would be at now, where my heart would be at right now, where my life would be at, with my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my children, my relationship with others. I don't know where that would be. It'd probably be okay, I would say, but I don't know. Like, I don't even think ever wanting to go back to not having a relationship. It was about 10 years ago, just so you know, for me, is coming to church and understanding how much God loves you and his everlasting type of love, this not like an earthly type love, this like eternal type love. And regardless of my flaws, my insecurities, my struggles, my sin, the things that I continue to struggle with, it's still a struggle with me. And I know just other Christians get it. Like, there's still a struggle. It doesn't mean we're stress-free lives. It doesn't mean we don't have anxiety. It just means that when we're going through those, we've made the choice, the free will, to allow God into our lives to help steer the ship, to really take the steering wheel over. I mentioned this the other day about storms in life. And there's lots of storms. We might have a lot of those storms right now. Maybe your health is one of them. I know for many, because they come into my world and I help them on that healthier pursuit and a healthier path. And I know sometimes they need help with the steering wheel, and that's kind of what God does. When you let him come into your life, you allow him to take the steering wheel and help guide your ship wherever that direction leads you. So anyway, with that, I really truly believe that in this time of quarantine mode, if you're stuck in your backyard or stuck at home or not being able to work, not being able to do things like you're normally used to do, I really believe in this time God's truly revealing things to you and to me in order for us to not just appreciate things, but so that we can just learn this kind of new normal, what tomorrow is going to bring, and learning about that today and having the opportunity to seize a beautiful sunrise or listening to some birds in your backyard. And it could be truly like the beginning steps. I know we look forward to this like next day. We think about what's going to bring on Monday. Monday mornings are always time for fresh new starts and fresh new beginnings. And for me, my pursuit is for you is that if things are challenging, if things are struggling, is that if you have get any encouragement from you, is to know that, at least for me, and I know for a lot of others, is when you allow that trust to be placed in God and not just your own efforts, it really becomes a not so easy choice. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to say that verse one more time, and then I'm going to leave you. And I hope you had a good experience on here. And I only ask, the one thing is that you share this with others. Hey, good morning, David, and good morning, Terry, and good morning, Donna. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. If you're just catching this now, go back and watch the beginning. I will upload it right away. Is that, again, the not so easy choice. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and eat with him and he with me. And it's not an easy choice. It really isn't an easy choice to follow God, to follow his path for your life. But I'm just going to encourage you on this Sunday morning, right, where everybody is maybe fired up about their faith, fired up about their service that's going to come online soon. Ours is going to be as well. Is the encouragement is that while it's not an easy choice to follow God, it can be the easy choice when you look back at how many times, look back at where you were before God. The whole testimony, if you ever heard anybody's testimony, it starts off of where you were without God in your life, and then meeting him, hearing that knock, opening the door, allowing him into your life, and then now how it's turned, like how life is. It isn't necessarily easy, but I can tell you it's far easier having an amazing, powerful, almighty, like loving, gracious, merciful God right by your side than it is the alternative way is just relying and having yourself to rely on. So with that, I hope this found you well. I hope you have encouragement today. I hope that maybe if you don't have, if you're having a struggle making choices in your life, that you can rest assured that even though it might be a hard one on the front end, it is truly an easy choice to have God alongside of you in this path. So with that, take care. God bless. More from me. I didn't see any birds. Look, they're sleeping in this morning. The cardinals are sleeping in. Maybe we'll have to do a video later on today. Take care and have a blessed day. We'll see you.